This episode literally had a little bit of everything for everybody. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another episode of Poke Talk, and today's episode of Poke Talk is going to be my review of the latest episode of Pokemon Pocket Monsters 2019, episode 27, Legends of Heroes, Leon's Greatest Battle. And I gotta be honest with you guys, this episode was fantastic. I had really nothing to gripe about with this episode. The battle was epic. There was a nice surprise in here that I don't think anybody suspected. We got introduced to some new characters here. Overall, this was a great episode here. And like I said, this episode just had a little bit of everything for everybody, in my opinion. But we'll talk about all of this soon enough. So, at risk of further rambling, let's move on to the actual episode. So the episode begins with Ash and Go training at the Sakuragi Institute. And Ash is more of battle training while Go is actually busy playing baseball with his Farfetch'd here, which I loved. You know, I love the little slice of life thing, and I love these little interactions because they do make the episode. It's little things like that that do make the episode. I still stand by that. But anyway, nice moment nonetheless. And as they're doing this, eventually Professor Sakuragi shows up and gives Ash and Go tickets to the Pokemon World Championship battle in the Galar region, of course, with Leon battling a new opponent. Ash is excited to go look at this battle and just watch it, and Go is excited to go to the Galar region and catch Galar Pokemon again. So the two of them set off to the Galar region. First plane they can get, they're in the Galar region now, and they're actually running late to this battle, and Go is kind of nagging on Ash like, come on, we're going to be late. And as they're running through the main gallery there, Ash stops when he sees a statue, and it's a very big and imposing statue to Ash. And he really doesn't have a whole lot of time to ponder on what it's about or what's going on with it, just because Go is yelling at him like, come on, you're going to miss the battle. And so Ash, of course, takes off, and the statue is left for a little bit later in the episode that we dig into it. So now we're on to the main event, the bread and butter of this episode, or at least that's what everybody thought the bread and butter was going to be. And it is the bread and butter. You know, people have been arguing about this on Twitter this morning, whether that was the real bread and butter of the episode or if it was something else. I still think it was. And that, of course, is the battle with Leon and Raihan. And Raihan, of course, being the Galar Dragon-type gym leader, he's introduced for the first time, and it turns out that both of them are rivals, and they have a fierce battle here. Leon, of course, brings out his Charizard, and we see that Raihan brings out Duralond. I know I'm probably mispronouncing that, but anyway, it's the battle of this to go down. Duralond versus Charizard here, and these two have an epic battle. And I gotta say, I love the battle animations here, especially during the Gigantamaxing. I love the soundtrack that they used for this battle here. The battle was just pretty great, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. Leon's battles are always a highlight in the series, and this one is no exception. I think so far this is probably my favorite Leon battle, just saying. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And I'm not just saying that because I actually have a thing for dragons. You know, dragons are awesome and all, and I know Charizard doesn't qualify as a dragon, but he's battling a dragon type, and I use that phrase in parentheses there. But anyway, that whole point aside there, this battle is epic, and it caps off with Leon's victory, of course. So Leon wins his match, and Ash is actually watching this, and he actually calls out to Leon. And Leon, of course, notices Ash, and, you know, they exchange some words there, and Go's kind of embarrassed by the whole thing. But we also get introduced to another new character, one that we didn't expect to see in this episode, or at least I didn't anyway, and that is Chairman Rose. And it's actually called up by the announcer, and yeah, we get introduced to Chairman Rose in the anime here. That was one I was not expecting. So now with the battle being over, we go back to this main courtyard, or this main, I guess you would call it foyer of the arena here, the World Championship Coliseum Arena. And Ash is back on this statue here. And at first, Ash and Go think that this is like a statue of Leon or something, and it's at this time Sonia is introduced in the anime. And Sonia, they kind of eavesdrop on Sonia. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of are spying on her, but then she notices them, and we basically get the legend of the legendary hero here, the Galar legend. And Sonya's the one to explain this to Ash and Go and basically clears up their confusion on what the statue really is. And then, of course, Ash introduces Sonya to Pikachu. Sonya flips out on Pikachu, of course, thinking it's just so darn cute. Being typical Sonya. What can I say? Being typical Sonya here. So now that the legend statue is revealed here, we get into the other part of this episode. And this part of the episode I was really not expecting to happen, just because when this was announced, I assumed that this Pokemon was going to Go. And that is Ash and Go run into a Galarian Farfetch'd, and Ash ends up having a battle with it with his Riolu, and we learned that Ash's Riolu has also learned some new tricks as well. Riolu has learned Force Palm, Double Team, and Reversal, and yeah, Ash is able to beat this Galarian Farfetch'd, and Ash is the one that ends up catching it. And the reason why I say this was a surprise was because when this was announced that this was going to be a Galarian Farfetch'd, we all thought it was going to be Go that was going to catch it, especially with Go focusing so much on his Farfetch'd at the beginning of this episode. No, Ash actually ends up catching it and ends up adding a Farfetch'd to his team here, a Galarian form nonetheless. I mean, I guess that kind of goes without saying that Ash was going to get it, but I really thought for sure it was going to be Go. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. I think that this is the first time in a really long time, in fact, it may be the first time just ever, that Ash and a traveling companion have had the same Pokemon at the same time. Different Pokemon, obviously, but same species of Pokemon, if that makes any sense. I do believe, and again, you guys can quote me if I'm wrong in the comments section, that this is a first. So really enjoyed that too. And like I said, I really did not expect Ash to get that catch there. And Go essentially is left with no Galarian Pokemon this time around, which again is something that I've been critical of the series for. There's no reason that Go needs to get a Pokemon every single episode. So this episode kind of alleviated that concern for me too and added to this episode in my opinion. But with all of that, though, that was essentially the episode. Like I said, this was a great episode all the way around. It had a nice surprise. It had and by surprise, I mean Chairman Rose and the story of the legendary hero and Ash getting Farfetch'd. Those were all the little surprises here. And it was all little details that made this episode so great. Like I said, the Leon battle was spectacular. The Ash catching Farfetch'd was unexpected, but super happy about it. The legendary hero thing, I was not expecting that to happen this episode, but it ended up happening. We got introduced to Sonya. It was just a great episode all the way around, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this episode. This episode is really a must-watch episode, in my opinion. Overall, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. It was so close to being a perfect episode. I think the only thing that could have made this episode a little bit better, and you guys can disagree with me on this, the thing that would have made it better was the little Ash interaction with Leon there. I didn't want that teased so much in this episode. I would have been fine without that. That's really the only thing I had to say about it, just because I would have liked Ash to be kind of the silent watcher over his hero. Having to call out to Leon every single time is really just not necessary, in my opinion. That was really the only thing I had wrong with this episode. But other than that, great episode all the way around. Loved the episode. And with that, everybody, and as always, in the comments section down below, let me know what your guys' thoughts were about this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What were your thoughts? Just let me know in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. All right, everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Hey everyone, Templar74 here again, and I know I normally don't do this, and I really don't like to do this because I feel it's a bit sloppy, but I do want to take a second to talk about this just because it was announced and I like to keep you guys up to date on news, and also with it just being the one episode here, it really didn't warrant a whole episode of Poke Talk in my opinion. But anyway, I do want to take a second to tell you guys about a new episode title we got, which will be episode 30 of Pokemon Journeys or Pocket Monsters 2019, whichever you want to go by, and that is the episode title for July 26, 2020. 2020, and the title is The Reluctant Pikachu. Again, everybody, it's really short. That's all we really got here. Not really expecting a whole lot out of this episode, to be honest with you. I think that this will be a Pikachu-focused episode here, which is always nice to get Pikachu-focused episodes, but I'm really not expecting a whole lot out of this episode, in my opinion. I think this is going to be one of those Pikachu... I don't want to call it a filler episode, because Pikachu episodes always have a little bit of development in there for somebody. But yeah, I think that that's what this episode is going to be. Again, everybody, I didn't want to do a whole episode on it because it's only going to be like 2 minutes long, this video. But I did want to go over this episode title since it was announced. So yeah, with that being said, everybody, let me know what your guys' thoughts are about this episode title as well in the comments section of this video, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright, everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.